Welcome to Game Changers Silicon Valley, a show about today's emerging innovations that may be the game changers of tomorrow. My name is Jim Connor and I will be your host. The first segment of tonight's show will address a new frontier in Silicon Valley and its ecosystem, applying computer technology to agriculture. This emerging sector is referred to as AgTech, and it addresses a broad range of opportunities in food production, resource management, sustainability, and big data. My guests are Roger Royce, founder of Royce Law Firm and the Silicon Valley AgTech Conference, along with John Erickson, founder and CEO of RapidBio Systems, an AgTech company. Roger and John, welcome to the show. Roger, you're an active guy. You run a law firm and now you're involved in the AgTech sector. Can you give us a little overview of what is AgTech all about?
What is AgTech? Well, thanks, Jim. Think about applying technology to the agricultural market. That's what we mean by AgTech or agritech. So you mentioned computer science. It could be software, big data, robotics, Internet of Things, drones, all applied to agriculture. That's what AgTech is. And certainly it's been around forever, technology in agriculture, since the first plow, was strapped to the first ox, and farmers are the original innovators. But curiously, it's been a little bit slow in getting traditional technologies, or new technologies rather, into traditional farming. And that's what AgTech is all about. It's applying those new technologies to farming.
Mm-hmm. Let me give you one follow-up to that then. So far, the media has conveyed and shown us many times that our production methods have increased dramatically over the last 50, 60, 70 years. Is this one more step in pure yield production? Or does it have more to it?
That's part of it. AgTech is a very big category, and certainly that's one of the most important parts, is increasing yields, because the world is not making, there's no more land, but there are more people, right? And eventually there are going to be more people than the land can support, unless we can increase yield from existing resources. But AgTech also, it's not only a sustainability issue, it's a health issue, it's an environment issue, it's efficiency, it's a lot of different things, but that certainly is one big part of it, is increasing yield.
And John, you are the CEO of RapidBio Systems. You're based you're here in Silicon Valley.
Right.
But what does RapidBio Systems do?
Well, RapidBio Systems is a company that we're developing a portable, handheld, fast pathogen detection system for use in the food safety space. So within the AgTech, what Roger was talking about, there's the food safety sector. And a subsector of that is the testing sector. It's a significant market. It's over $9 billion a year on a global basis. It's growing very rapidly, 5 to 6% a year. And what we're doing is we're trying to solve a very significant problem. And that problem is the time to the test result. Currently in the market space, they're using technologies such as PCR and others that will give a result, a very accurate result for your bacteria test from different food sources, but they take hours and sometimes days. And if you go back to the old technology of agar plates, right, test medium, can take a week or more. We're developing a technology that will give that PCR-like result in about 10 or 15 minutes. So a pretty significant change in time.
So I'm a pretty novice person to this AgTech.
Sure.
So PCR, you're going to have to help me out there.
Polymerase chain reaction. And so
chain
reaction. So it's a patented technology that comes out of Roche. But what it is, it's looking at DNA. And so in order to do that, the sample has to be broken apart, the DNA extracted, and then matching pieces of DNA are associated with it, and then we'll give a result. So there's a pretty significant amplification step that takes place. We don't do that. Our technology is based on something completely different.
And what is that?
So it's well known and highly categorized. It's antibodies. But it's not just antibodies. We deploy 6 different technologies within our testing system to give a very accurate, fast result. And the key thing here is that it's a portable device, that you could take it out into the field, you could take it into the warehouse, anywhere in the whole farm to fork distribution channel.
So I have the impression then, the idea is we're going to catch the pathogens in food before they get to the consumer, before they get to the supermarket, for that matter. Is that correct?
That's correct. In any place in that whole distribution chain. So you can test a sample. Let's say we're down in Salinas, the capital of the world of green, fresh, leafy vegetables. And so you could go out and take leafy vegetable samples there, whether it's spinach or lettuce or something like that. Take the sample, put it into a blender, you blend it up, and you extract a liquid sample. Put that into our test slide, which I have here, and then what we do is we insert that test slide into this portable handheld device. In about 10 minutes, we'll give you an answer and give you a quantitative result.
What kind of answer are you going to give?
So we can do a couple of different things. We can give you a quantitative answer, which says this is how many bacteria cells per that sample are in the sample that we just analyzed. Or we can give you a red light, green light, meaning a qualitative answer saying at this level of detection, no, we didn't find any bacteria. At this level of detection, yes, we did. So it can be binary or it can be quantitative.
That's very good. So Roger, where'd you catch up with this guy? You go to high school together? And what is he doing within he's a member of your incubator, correct?
Absolutely. I actually think we met at the Silicon Valley AgTech conference last year. It's an annual conference we put together in May of every year where we bring technologists, farmers, and investors together. And I think that's where I first met John. And that was the early days of the AgTech, the Silicon Valley AgTech group. That was our first conference. And since then, it seemed very natural just to move on to a full-blown incubator program. And that's what we're doing right now. We've got 15 companies in our program here in Palo Alto. John is one of them. He's one of our shining stars of the program with his technology.
How do you decide who's going to be in? Do you go through that formal application, or do you do research on it? Your team do any research?
Absolutely. We've got a team of mentors, a couple dozen mentors. People submit a formal application process. We review them, and then we decide.
How long does the incubator program last?
5 months. We're going to conclude with our conference.
Then do you have a demo day for investors?
Yes, we have several demo days throughout the program. And because this is Silicon Valley, we use technology, and we actually broadcast those. We webcast our demo days to selected groups.
We might have to get KMVT to come over with a remote truck and hook you guys on a live feed. They have a truck here and do all types of live feed transmissions. Good. So now, you did not found this company, but you, as I understand it, found this technology at University of Arizona.
So what occurred with me is a group of investors called Desert Tech, LLC, licensed the technology or worked on licensing the technology from the University of Arizona. One of the key members of Desert Tech is actually a graduate school professor there. And he is a technologist as well and found this technology through Desert Tech as well as the Kauffman Foundation and the University of Arizona. They all made significant investment into this technology. They went through proof of principle, proof of technology, and into the alpha stage of development. At that point, they said, boy, we have something here, and we need to bring someone on board who has gone through and developed product into a global commercialization stage and on into revenue and onto significant revenue. And those are the things I've done in my career with companies like Johnson & Johnson and Abbott Laboratories and ITC Nexus.
So you have a sort of a life science background, it sounds like.
I do. I've got a few science degrees and an MBA, but more importantly, I have hands-on actually development experience, and I've been responsible for developing and marketing, commercializing about 36 scientific products in my career with revenues in excess of $2 billion.
Oh, excellent. It's a great experience to have that. That will play well with the investor groups that I would think so. We talked a little before we started the show about the licensing at Arizona, University of Arizona.
Right.
That's always been a challenge for entrepreneurs to get it and to get exclusivity and get the right coverage. And it's also raised issues of how clean is that license with investors. You had a unique experience. Maybe you could share that with everybody.
Yeah, we did. And so the original conversation between the University of Arizona Office of Technology Transfer and Desert Tech took place at the most senior levels. So the founder of Desert Tech, Jerry Sonnenblick, is a U of A grad in undergrad and law school and knows the organization really well. He was a successful lawyer and entrepreneur and still wanted to give back to the university. And so with this Desert Tech group of overseers. They went in, they looked at several different technologies and then came with ours. But in the course of those negotiations, a deal was struck where, typical from my experience in business development with Johnson & Johnson, you do a certain percentage of top-line revenue. Ours isn't. Ours is a certain percentage of bottom line. So it's a very unique experience. And when the new management came into U of A, they probably wanted to change it, but we already had an agreement in kind, and I was able to finish the negotiations to take it where it is.
So the new people wanted to change it.
Well,
Okay.
yes. Yes,
Okay.
right.
Let me ask both of you, really, what is different about AgTech then? I know it's production of food, it's got all these issues with water management, resource, land management, everything else.
AgTech, agriculture is really the last frontier for a lot of technologies. 90% of the farmland in the country is family owned. It's family farms or small farms. So it's a kind of customer that really requires a personal relationship with the people they do business with. And tech products in particular are highly risky products for these customers because it absolutely has to work. You know, there's no testing out on the farm. Their whole crop could go for a year. So it's a tough nut to crack, pardon the pun, in that respect.
Well, I think a lot of what you said is absolutely true. What I'm seeing as we're looking to develop and commercialize this product is you don't have a lot of opportunities to come in a second time. So you want to make sure what you're doing is vetted completely. What I also see in the ag tech space is innovation is rampant, but it's different than it is in the market I come out of, let's call it clinical diagnostics. Right now, they're using life science technologies, these platforms that are using clinical diagnostics and life science, and then applying them also to food safety testing. What we're doing is we're bringing a new perspective into it where we're trying to get that point of need testing into it immediately to help expedite the movement of product and process through the distribution chain.
So you're testing food as it moves through distribution, trying to catch it. How big does a test segment have to be?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
And so I don't test.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're supplying the tool to the people in the marketplace to use to do their test. Each one of the producers, especially the large the Doles and Chiquitas, et cetera, they have to get an HSEP plan approved through the FDA. And that's called hazardous analysis plan, right?
Yeah.
And so they need to be able to track from the field to the end user. And at multiple points in that distribution chain, there's an opportunity to test. And the more frequently you test, the greater the opportunity to catch a contamination.
Yep. You catch pathogens at the moment, is that correct? You test for pathogens?
We do, and when I say pathogens, I mean bacteria. It's only bacteria. It's not viruses or prions or other things. We're just focused on bacteria.
What about pesticides and other potentially dangerous things?
Yeah, is there an opportunity for us to branch into those spaces? Yeah. Probably. Anything that you can develop an antibody to, we could integrate into our testing system.
Okay. Roger, in your firm, what are you doing next with John's firm here?
Well, we have a conference coming up on May 11 in Mountain View at the Computer History Museum, right down the road from here.
May 11th this year,
May 11th,
2015.
2015. Great. It's a full-day conference of presentations, panels. Companies like John's will be demoing and pitching to live. We'll have a speed networking event and lots of networking. So that's really the next big thing, and certainly more workshops, more local events. We're going out into the field as well. Right out to Salinas, out to Sacramento, out to the farm areas and talking to growers also.
Great. We're going to wrap up this segment in a minute, but I want each of you to indicate what's the best way to follow up with you. John?
Easiest for me or to contact us is go to our website, www.rapidbiosystems, all one word, .com.
Okay. And Roger?
Same, you can find me on my website, rroycelaw.com, or just Google Royce Law AgTech, Royce Law Incubator, and I'll come up.
I did Google you. You have a ton of stuff out there on Google, so you're kind of a very prominent, very public guy. So congratulations on this incubator. Congratulations on the conference. John, very much enjoyed your innovations, your technology, your understanding, and what it might bring to the world here as a game changer, for that matter.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting.
Okay. I'd like to thank you for joining us for this segment of tonight's show on Game Changer Silicon Valley. We'll be right back with our next segment to continue discussing the matter of ag tech.